Hey, everybody, if you're watching this is a pre recorded edition of the Rant Network because Stuart and I currently are in synagogue because it's the Jewish New Year, something that Stuart and I, since we have been young, have kept as a tradition. None of us are religious, but we're both traditional individuals, very proud of our Jewish heritage. And come the Jewish New Year and Yom Kippur, our days are sacred in which we become more devout, we get closer to God. That is our choice. And no one has forced us into it. It's just something that for many generations, our parents, grandparents, forefathers, you name it, have been doing it. But suddenly, in the last number of years in the Western society, religion is bad. Trust in God? Prayer? How dare you? And in light of recent events, it's just come straight to the fore. Welcome back, everybody, to the Rant Network. I'm David Solomon. This pre-recorded edition of the Rant Network, which we do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. These are rants about craziness of life, politics, culture, and so much more. We welcome your comments and feedback on things that we say here because we are going to voice the stuff that generally is not really spoken at many dining room tables anymore. Although if you did do it last night at your Rosh Hashanah table, kudos to you. So sit back on our Wednesday edition of the Rant Network. Stuart, I'm going to tell you, I watched on Sunday night parts of the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and except for Donald Trump, almost every speaker went in about their faith and their devotion to God. And I mean, Erica Kirk so much as forgave the shooter as a good Christian, and so on and so on and so on. And if you just sat back and watched it, you were amazed by the people's dedication and devotion to their identity, their religion, and their belief in God. But then, if you read the comments posted by folks on the left, how dare they're not separating church and state. And by the way, not just in the United States, even in Canada, remarks by journalists that whatever happened to, keeping religion out of politics and your beliefs and whatever. I find it fascinating how more and more of the left wants to turn religion into part of it's a hate speech all of a sudden. You can't talk about religion. How dare you bring God in it? I mean, Stuart, I'm sickened by a group of people who've decided to tell me how I should run my life.
Well, okay. Let's start this off. If you want to understand religion control as a state enforcement, as an ideology, the theocrats and the social progressives sort of clash. Because, it's no different than the battle of, the Antifada in the world. Believe it or not, it's actually very similar in nature. Church and state, well, it's not church and state. It's the church versus something other than the church. Because remember, the rules of the church is what they're arguing against. They don't want you to have those morals and values, like, again, concerns about social policy, right? Certain religious traditions historically oppose abortion, same-sex marriage, gender equality, and the left wants to be the champion of something other than what the church. They emphasis on pluralism. David always seems to criticize me because I try and hook these things up to communism. Pluralism is basically the emphasis of communism. It's not about you, it's about us. It's not your children, they're our children. It's not your country, it's our country. It's not your job, it's our job. It's not your money, it's our money. You hear the similarities, David? That's the emphasis of pluralism. Pluralism. It's science versus faith over and over and over again. But the science that they want to preach isn't the science of the world. It's the science that opposes the church. Now, it's historical skepticism that drives this even further, a wedge. Every single wedge, whether it's George Floyd, whether it's a LGBTQIA Whether it's girls and men's sports, men's and girls sports, it's something to draw a wedge. It's a historical known fact. They have to have a cause to rip you away from what you deemed as normal. And that's what's been going on. Now, I found Sunday, very solemn day. I found it really like an evangelist Sunday church going. It was the guy's eulogy, and it was a little over the top. And I get it. It is his eulogy that had close to 100,000 people. I don't know who had 100,000 people at their memorial, but I don't think I can name any off the top of my hand who had nearly as many people. But this was not a day of the country. It was a day of a man's eulogy. And he was a devout Christian. So do I find it a little over the top? Yes. Is there checks and balances? Yes. Do I want my kid going to school learning about Jesus Christ? No, not more than the surface stuff. Do you want your kid learning about Buddhism, Hinduism? Yeah, a little. So they are aware. Being aware allows the ability to connect. But the left doesn't want you to connect. It's not universal. You can't believe this and you believe that, and us be able to control the center. This is all about control, David. Really, truly. Look, break it down by numbers. What is the point of them wanting to remove church or God and country? They want to remove God and country because they want to be the God. They don't want Christian, Judaism, or Muslim gods. They want to be the God. They want to be the kings. And the only way they're going to get this country to kingship is by removing God. God is their obstacle. And you know what? If they're allowing other people to help facilitate it, the Soroses of the world, the Rothschilds of the world, the ones that are sponsoring most of all of this, it is never going to stop. David?
Stuart, so I heard what you just said, and I can't disagree with you entirely because, it's about control, 100%. But let's go one more step, shall we, Stuart?
Okay.
Like when you think about religion, what does religion promote? Family values.
Yep.
The family.
No, different family values. The family values that the left doesn't want you to have. They don't want a family by definition, mother, father, sister, brother. That's the problem. They're not your children, Dave. They don't want family. It's the opposite. They want to remove family.
Like I was trying to get at, they don't like the idea of a heteronormal family, as you like to just call it. They don't want to hear those type of things because then it busts all of their philosophies. They don't want you to believe in it. You said it, the deity that they want to be is them. They are the gods. They're the ones they want to be the ones that you pray to, not some priest. Right? What is when I say the church, it's the Catholic Church, because you have other churches that have different philosophies, but they try to convince you that religion is anti-gay. I'm not saying that religions don't have that part of it, but even Jewish Orthodox Jewry, who's been really stuck on this question, has moved away from this whole notion of, oh my God, I got to exclude people because too many people, there are Orthodox synagogues who are welcoming LGBTQIA members into their community, and I've experienced it firsthand, Stuart. Okay, here in Montreal. So to say that they're anti-gay is just part of the mantra, because if you create that openness of religion, then they're going to walk away from the left. Same thing with abortion. All Catholics, all religious people are anti-abortion. Listen, I have my philosophy on abortion. I'm not an anti-abortionist.
Okay.
Do I believe it should be used for contraception? No, but that's my belief. But the left is trying to tell me how I'm supposed to take a piss, how I'm supposed to act, how I'm supposed to behave, who I'm supposed to pray to, who I'm supposed to listen to. Okay, it's so anti-religion It's so anti what the essence of that religion is saying. Listen, I don't care if I'm Jewish, Catholic, or other religions. To say to me, your family construct is bad. Who are you to tell me this? Who are you to tell me that my family construct is bad? Who are you to tell me if I should believe in pro-life or pro-abortion? Who are you to tell me that I should? It's just fascinating, what the left has done. And as I know this is going to be playing while I'm sitting in synagogue, and I want to tell you something, Stuart. Let me tell you a little bit. I'll give you a little personal insight. Again, I'm not a religious person. But during this time, I sit and I reflect because many of the prayers that I'm reading, and I welcome you folks if you haven't had a chance, read it in English. Okay? I know Hebrew is complicated and Hebrew you may not know, but read the English. And you tell me in some of these prayers, does it not make you think? Does it not make you question certain things? Does it not make you appreciate life? I mean, one of the things that we do is we pray for people's health. We pray for people's, well-being. We pray for a better business. We pray for our family. And that's bad? That's bad?
Well, David, it's bad because the abolishment of family is the radical ideas that root with Marx and Engels. And David, it is by far, they critique the traditional nuclear family, which is the Judeo-Christian foundation. And it's not the Catholic Church in the sense that was Sunday, it was the Christians. They're not Catholics.
No, I'm talking about today. I'm talking about today, Stuart.
By promoting a diverse family structure, it's because you want to abolish the nuclear family and the concept of it and the economic analysis of a family issue from the left is anti-capitalistic by design. And that is why when you and I go to synagogue and pray, and our friends that are Christians and our friends that are Muslims that go and pray at their respective centers, and they are against this. And the only reason why they're against it, because it provides a safety net. It provides for a place where there are like-minded morals and values that are not the same that they want.
Look, Stuart, there's no doubt about it. You're right. The left doesn't want you to listen to somebody else. You talked about communism, which is a very controlling, like everything else. And they want to tell you how to live your life. And they're not going to tell you for your betterment. Because I got to tell you something, when you are grieving, who do you go to? They want you to go to a therapist, some paid therapist who you hardly knows you. You're going to pay a lot of money and is going to rely upon some philosophy. Wonderful. Okay. But your priest, your rabbi, your imam, your spiritual leader has a different perspective. And it's not a wrong perspective. But the left won't let you go there because they are going to they're going to push faith on you. Believe in God. That's a bad thing. I don't know. Why is that a bad thing? It's because it counters the left's philosophy on how life should be. They're about chaos, where religion's about order. They're about, anger and violence. When if you look at the right now, what religion is most religions promote peace. And I know you're going to argue with me about Islam, but even if you take some of the imams, they're talking about it's just fascinating to me how the left is so critical of how you and I live our lives, but yet their lives are shit. Look what they're promoting. Listen, if you're going to tell me that I'm not here to say to you that being a single parent is a bad thing. It's an unfortunate situation. Okay, for some people it's unfortunate, for some people it's a choice. I'm not saying it's good and I'm not saying it's bad. It's a choice. It's a circumstance. A lot of these things, are it's going to be it is what it's going to be. And the beauty of community and the beauty of your religion is that you have a community of people that want to help you and support you. What the left is saying is, no, no, no. Don't go to these people. Go to us. We're going to take care of you. In what? Maintaining poverty, maintaining ignorance, maintaining this anger that the world has been is against you. There's no positivity here. And that's the thing that when you're sitting down in your whether it's a Sunday service or a Friday service or a holiday service, it doesn't make a difference. Or Sabbath service, I don't care. There's peace, there's serenity, there is hope, there's positivity. But the left only wants to give you the negativity. And if you just see just the way they reacted in Congress after they wanted to have a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk, and how many on the left lost their minds over this. What was the big deal of a moment of prayer for 60 goddamn seconds?
Uh,
That's to show you how messed up the left is.
David, and on that note, if you are still here and it was Rosh Hashanah, we thank you for joining in and listening. But David, I think we need to bring this to a wrap.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are celebrating the new year, we want to wish you Shana Tova, happy and healthy new year. Maybe it be filled with health, happiness, success, and peace. And even if you're not celebrating, we wish you the same. And we look forward to seeing you on the other